Good evening. Welcome to the 2023 Great Northwest Athletic Conference Women's Soccer Championships and semifinal number 2 of the day. It's 4th-seeded Simon Fraser University taking on the reigning GNAC champions, Seattle Pacific, the number 1 seed after winning their 10th GNAC regular season title just a week ago. Hi, everybody. Evan O'Kelly with you for our second match of the evening. It was Western Washington emerging victorious 2-1 over Western Oregon in our first semifinal match of the day. So the Vikings punch their ticket to the GNAC Championships match for the 11th consecutive year. They've never missed a championship match, and now they'll wait and see who it'll be that they'll face on Saturday. Will it be the Red Leafs of Simon Fraser, or will it be the Falcons of Seattle Pacific? We'll find out here over the next 2 hours. Glad you're with us. Live from Tomlinson Stadium on the campus of Central Washington University, the GNAC Championship being played here in Ellensburg for the first time. Seattle Pacific with a win when these teams met on October 12th in Burnaby up on the hill. The Falcons walked out of there with a 2-1 triumph, and then the teams played to a 1-1 draw. And that was less than a week ago on Saturday in Seattle, the regular season finale. They battled to a draw, so the Falcons claimed the season series. All time since Simon Fraser joined the GNAC in 2010, Seattle Pacific with a dominant 19-1-2 record. So Simon Fraser's lone win in this series came on September 27, 2018 in overtime in Seattle. So the Red Leafs looking for what would be their second all-time win over the Falcons. SPU looking to continue the dominance and reach the GNAC championship match once again. For Simon Fraser, 6-5-5 on the season. They went 5-5-4 in GNAC play, finishing in 4th place with 19 points, 4-3 in home matches, 2-5 draws in road matches for Simon Fraser. Last week, defeated Montana State Billings 1-0 before the draw against Seattle Pacific. And SFU has been in good form of late, just one loss in its last 6 matches. That was a 3-1 loss to Western Oregon on October 28th. Carlo Basso, the Simon Fraser men's legend, the former All-American who led the Red Leafs to back-to-back Final Four appearances in 2012 and 2013 in his first season as interim head coach. And he has got this team to the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive season. Simon Fraser, 5 overall appearances here in the GNAC Championships. For Seattle Pacific, it was an undefeated GNAC season, 9-0-5 in league play, 32 points for first place, and 1 week ago today, knocked off Western Washington 2-0 on the road to seal up their 10th regular season title. Overall of the year, Seattle Pacific 12-2-5. They went 4-1-4 at home, 8-1-1 on the road. Just a remarkable record away from Inter Bay Stadium. And neither of these teams have played a neutral site match yet this year. So the unbeaten streak is at 15 for Seattle Pacific. Its last loss was September 9th at Chico State, a 1-0 result during the non-conference portion of the schedule. 8th year head man R.B. Busey, and he's had it rolling. He inherited a very good SPU program, and they haven't missed a beat. He was, of course, on the coaching staff in 2008 when the Falcons won their national title, and R.B. earning GNAC Coach of the Year a week ago, or I should say on Monday, for the second time in his career. 2021 was his first, and now he's collected his second GNAC Coach of the Year title after leading the Falcons to the regular season title. Starting lineups for tonight's match will look like this for Simon Fraser. The sisters, Emily Smith and Kate Smith, playing center back. Emily, a junior, and Kate, the freshman, both out of Coquitlam, British Columbia. Emily wears number 3, Kate wears number 5. Alyssa Clark will start in the midfield. She wears number 6, a freshman. Isabella Mussolini, the first-team All-GNAC pick, the junior out of Maple Ridge, British Columbia. And she'll be joined in the attack by the GNAC co-newcomer of the year, Michaela Tupper, the junior transfer from Miami. Caden Sherwood starts on the wing, the sophomore out of Vernon, British Columbia. And Sarah Caravata, another forward for the Red Leafs, the freshman, getting the start tonight. Noemi Merlin, the defender, the sophomore from Montreal, gets the start. Also on the back line for SFU, Katie Richardson. She is one of 4 players on the Simon Fraser team to have started all 16 matches this season. Katie Richardson, the junior out of Ottawa. And, of course, Kate Cartier, the junior midfielder from Kelowna. Honorable mention, all-conference selection, and making her 15th start of the year. And in goal for Simon Fraser, the trusty sophomore, Sarah Lowen, second-team all-GNAC performer, and she's started every match of the season for SFU. A little bit of a different look for Seattle Pacific in the starting lineup. Very notably, Sophie Beadle, the GNAC Player of the Year, not in the starting lineup tonight for Seattle Pacific. They'll have Mercedes Cullen in goal, the second-team all-conference sophomore out of Spokane. Nora Patterson getting the nod at forward. The freshman from Shoreline is in there with Beadle on the bench. Lauren Forster, the fifth-year senior out of Olympia, Washington. Lauren Snedeker, a junior midfielder from Washougal, is in there. And also on the back line, Kailani Ahuna, the freshman from Auburn, Washington. Another veteran senior, Chloe Gelhaus, out of Spokane, starts in the midfield, and Marissa Banky on the back line, another senior from Spokane as well. Jacqueline Blakely, the first-team All-GNAC forward, led the conference with 7 goals, added in a couple of assists. The senior from Portland is in there, as is Maya Parman, a sophomore midfielder from Camas, Washington. Kat Nyone, the junior defender who earned honorable mention All-GNAC, the Happy Valley, Oregon native, in the starting lineup for the 19th time this year, and it's Landry McCann, junior defender out of Olympia, who makes her 8th start of the season as the Falcons race onto the pitch. 1 minute past 7 p.m. local time, and we're just about ready for kickoff. It's chilly here in Ellensburg. There's been some rain that started maybe with 15 minutes left in our first semifinal match. Nothing too hard, just a light drizzle at the moment. Nothing that should impact play, but the turf, a little extra layer of slickness tonight could be a factor as these teams moments away from kicking off, and we're glad that you're with us. We talked with head coach Arby Busey yesterday about his team's identity. They are best when they have the ball at their feet, and they want to dictate the terms to their opponent other than the other way around. And for the most part this year, that's how it's gone when Seattle Pacific is on the pitch. Again, unbeaten in conference play. Arby also saying that as a coaching staff, they want their players to be brave and courageous, and wasn't the first coach in this tournament to use that term brave for his players, especially when they're pushing forward. He wants them to take smart risks in smart areas. He wants his players to be willing to attack in areas other teams may not. Some keys to the game for Seattle Pacific. Red Leafs will kick off. And our second GNAC Championship semifinal is underway. The Smith sisters at the center backs for Simon Fraser. And Katie Richardson on the left side. Dispossessed right away. There's Blakely playing it across the middle. Seattle Pacific looking to attack early. Lowen chooses to stay back, and reading that one well, Cartier will just see it over the line. Good knowledge by Lowen there, understanding that it's a little bit slick. That ball was going to carry. Could have come off her line, but no need. So SFU will restart. Meanwhile, Carlo Basso's themes, they're at their best, valuing the ball, maintaining possession, finding their moments in which they can exploit the defense. SFU's attacking philosophy, intentional forward possession, comes from the back line, the outside backs, trying to find the likes of Tupper, who you see there, number 8, chasing towards the ball. Tupper's so dangerous in the attacking third. She's coming off a goal in that draw. It was Lauren Snedeker who scored when these teams met on Saturday in the 18th minute to put SPU ahead, and then Tupper just 1 minute after halftime equalized, and neither team could find a second goal. Nothing to separate them the last time these teams met. Chance here for SFU. Mussolini. Banky working on her. Trying to make life hard. Now out wide. SFU looking for a cross into the box here. It's low. It's onto the foot and a diving touch. I don't know if Mercedes Cullen got her hand on it. No, it just carried out of play. But the first real opportunity falling to SFU there. Sarah Caravata, maybe with a chance in front of goal. Tried to flick it with the right heel behind her. Now another chance for Tupper. It's a goal. An early finish for the GNAC newcomer of the year. And Simon Fraser, not on its first try, but the second one, pulls ahead. An early stunner from the Red Leafs. Tupper making her presence known in the box. And just 3 minutes into this one, SFU in front. Fourth goal of the season for Michaela Tupper. Limited to start number 12 tonight. She's battled through some injuries. Came back on Saturday and make it 2 goals in 2 games since she's been back from injury. The University of Miami transfer. Well, I talked with Coach Basso about what it's like bringing in a transfer. You always hope when you get a player of that experience level at a high Division I level that they're able to come in and transition easily. And he said it's always an adjustment to get back into the pace of the game. But he said once Michaela found her feet, she became really dynamic. She's a powerful winger. And you could see it right there, just muscling her way into the 6-yard box and finishing in front of goal. Physical, tough to deal with. That's how Basso describes his number 8. And what a start for SFU. 5th GNAC championship tournament SFU has been a part of. Never won a match. Never made it to the championship game. And now, tripped up on the far side, it'll be a free kick for Seattle Pacific. Or check that. No, just out of play. No free kick given. Thought for a moment maybe there was some contact. Instead, a goal kick. There's Richardson on the flank. I think she lost it out of play. So we'll see how the Falcons respond. Remember, no Sophie Beadle on the pitch, no GNAC Player of the Year. But they've got plenty of headline names for the women in white tonight. Falcons recycle it back through Cullen, who will play it outside to Landry McCann. Searching in the middle there, Gelhaus had it knocked away from her. Now outside, Tupper was trying to play square quickly to Mussolini. See Sarah Lowe in there wearing the face mask tonight. Basso talking about what a warrior she was in the Western Oregon match they recently played. Had an injury to her face, head area. More of a surface wound, but one that bothered her. Able to battle through it, though. wearing the face mask tonight, in net for Simon Fraser. 3 early goals in our first semifinal match, all 3 of them in the first half. And the theme holds true here. In semifinal number 2, here's Mussolini with some space. So you have Mussolini, the Georgia transfer from a couple years ago. It's not her first year in the GNAC. And then Tupper, the Miami transfer, who is new. So a couple of high-level D1 transfers in this SFU lineup. Mussolini, of course, was all-conference both last year, second team, and first team this season. So the Falcons going to try and shake off that early goal. And a team as experienced as RB Busey's side knows that panic's not in their vocabulary. I don't expect that's how they'll handle this situation, but maybe a bit of a surprise for this team that's gone unbeaten its last 15 to find themselves behind. There's Parman connecting with Taylor Kruger. So you see this interesting bit of play on the near side flank, Kruger trying to keep possession, and then Tupper's a little further up the number 8 for Simon, the goal scorer. Here's Kruger again. But those two voted the GNAC Newcomers of the Year. The coaches agreeing that those two, the top newcomers, as Lowen comes in to handle that cross from Kruger. So one of the intriguing matchups that we see tonight, co-newcomers of the year on the flank, and then the other one that the coaches couldn't separate on the all-conference team, the 2 goalkeepers, Mercedes Cullen and Sarah Lowen, tying in votes, each earning second team. Usually would just have 1 goalkeeper per all-conference team, but the GNAC coaches, nothing to separate those 2. So they both earned second team honors. Here's Banky to throw it in. Finding Gelhaus, a couple of long-time Falcons. A match that got off to a thrilling start. 3rd-minute goal for Michaela Tupper. Off the cross from Caden Sherwood. 2nd assist of the year for the sophomore winger. Now Tupper again. Dangerous one-on-one position. On her right foot, she'll have a go, but right at Cullen. Falcons working their way forward. Now some opening for Banky to bring the ball up the pitch. Beats her attacker. Is Blakely onside? No. She's dangerous in the attacking third, but a step early was Jacqueline Blakely that time. She's on the hunt for her 8th goal of the season, wants to add to a total that leads all GNAC players, that first team forward, Blakely. But the SFU backline, a nice job to draw her off. Towards the corner with the long ball. And the Falcons will try to recycle it through Cullen on the back line. That's Ahuna for SPU, playing alongside McCann at the back of the pitch for the Falcons. Now they'll push it forward. Early touch for Kate Cartier. Hasn't had a lot in this opening 10 minutes, but here she is on the ball keeping possession for SFU. Katie Smith facing some pressure there from Kruger. So, Tupper, the transfer from Miami. Kruger, meanwhile, in her first year with SPU out of St. Louis University. That one gobbled up by Lowen. So SFU with the early goal in hand, seeing if it can keep possession, gain a little bit of comfort. But here's Kruger, who has her cross attempt deflected by her fellow newcomer of the year, Tupper. SFU now will gather in the box to defend the first corner kick of the evening. It's Banky to take it. Plays it short towards the corner. And Falcons will do it again. Don't know how much Noemi Merlin knew about that. Could have maybe let it go, but had some weird spin on it, and better safe than sorry. So Banky will see if she goes short again. Has the option there, or had it for a moment with Forster. Now she'll serve it towards the 6-yard box. Diving tip by Lowen. SFU looking to counter, but Kat Nyon chasing that one down nicely. Dispossessed, Cartier with the takeaway. Does she have any support? Tries to find Tupper, but needed to hold it a moment longer. Falcons had too many numbers back. Well, there's Kate Cartier on the ball, a player that Carlo Basso says you're going to see a lot of tonight all over the pitch, box to box, number 8 for the Red Leafs. So integral in their success this year. Leads the team with 5 goals, a couple assists. Does Kate Cartier. Also saying Cartier is an absolute warrior defensively, winning tackles and also contributing offensively on set pieces. We've seen her score a couple of set piece goals this year. Lowen comes off her line to handle. Smith connecting with Cartier in the middle. So advantage, Red Leafs, through the first quarter of an hour. Both in possession and on the scoreboard, the Michaela Tupper goal. See how SPU responds and develops as we move into the middle portion of this first half. Trying to build off Snedeker there in the middle. But Simon doing a nice job of pressing, trying to limit possession. Offside flag stays down, but Forster unable to turn it into a offensive chance there moving forward. Now, Sophie Beadle was on the pitch doing some sprints, but not in uniform pregame. So, limited to 15 matches due to injury and dealing with something that at least kept her out of the lineup tonight, and always could be possible she could come off the bench. I don't know if she ended up dressing for this one, but Falcons certainly not the same side without the GNAC Player of the Year. Now pushing forward, Alyssa Clark got some room. Working outside, Merlin on the ground and handled by the Falcons in the box. Ahuna sticking that right foot out. Lowen picking out Richardson on the flank. Kruger looking back through the middle as Parman couldn't quite get on the same page as Forster there, was trying to slaughter through the middle. Lauren maybe thinking about heading towards the corner. Falcons just not quite connecting yet. We saw the early look from Blakely from an offside position. Other than that, nothing too dangerous yet for the GNAC champions. Now, regardless of the outcome of this match, if SPU were to drop it, I still figure they'd be a shoo-in for an NCAA regional berth. I think the overall body of work, they'd be insulated from losing that in the event of a loss. But one thing that is on the table is hosting rights for that first regional round. If SPU could win this tournament, they'd have an outstanding chance not only be in the regional, but to host the event. Clear advantage there. So they're playing for a lot this weekend too. SPU has won this tournament 3 times, so they'll be in search of their 4th tournament title. Working on locking up NCAA appearance number 17. That's all but done. Through to Kruger. Can she get there? Richardson loses her mark, and Kruger just wide of the post. First chance of the night for SPU. That looked threatening. No surprise, it's off the right foot of Taylor Kruger. Richardson had to come from a tough position. Didn't quite get goal side of Kruger. Tricky angle. Off the right foot, though. That one's always curling wide of the post. Here's Mussolini coming the other way. Does she have position? She does. Into the box. The cross. And stepping in, Kat Ione. Huge. Topper was looking for the far post. It's going to run out of play. Big step there from the junior Kat Ione in front of Sarah Caravata, who was in point-blank range. And that's some savvy defending. We've seen a couple of really good interventions from Nyon so far tonight. And the Falcons had to have that one. Now Cartier again intercepting a pass on her left foot. She'll try from distance. Not afraid to shoot is Kate Cartier. She's over the ball on set pieces and confirmed with Carlo Basso. She's right-footed, but you can see there, not much of a downturn when she goes to the left. Plenty of power in both legs for Cartier. Now Kruger doing her part defensively. Falcons trying to work out of tight quarters. Ends up on the foot of Blakely. Clark going to be whistled for the push, knocking Gelhaus to the floor that time. Falcons trying to go quickly as Snedeker sending it across to the corner, but Merlin is there. Over the top, and Cullen comfortably handles it in her box. McCann and Ahuna connecting. Midway through the opening half here in our second semifinal of the day. It was an eventful first half in the Western Oregon-Western Washington game. Vikings scored twice. The Wolves found one. And then both teams locked it down defensively in the second half. That was all the scoring, and the Vikings emerged the victor. So Western Washington will go get some rest, warm up a little bit tonight. In all likelihood, will watch at least some of this match and get ready for Saturday. Gelhaus plays it out wide. Here's Nyon pushing forward. And Smith with the confident header. That one running just a little bit on Ahuna, but still ends up at the foot of Snedeker. Falcons searching for the seam. Gelhaus with a little bit of space in the middle. She's got the option out wide. Did Forster stay onside? Yes. And deflected out of play off the foot of Merlin for another Seattle Pacific corner. Well, I'm sure Garlabasa will say that's too much space in the middle for Gelhaus. Streaking towards the top of the box, and she had lots of options that time. High arcing cross towards the back post. Cartier up with the header. And a little push will give SFU the free kick. Well, if you're SFU, I think this is as good of a start as you could ask for. An early goal just does wonders for the confidence. And Seattle Pacific head coach R.B. Busey, well aware of the strength of his opponent. He knows his team had a win and a draw against him in the regular season, but he credits Simon. They've always had a very good plan against them, says Busey. Very organized defensively, and he said it's been difficult for SPU to find ways to break down SFU defensively this season in the two matches. He said they've been organized and challenging to get through. They've had possession, they felt like, the Falcons in the two matches, but Busey saying that SFU had the better chances the last time they played. So is tonight the night that Simon pulls the slate even with SPU on the season? Kruger picking out Gelhaus in the corner. Looking for room to cross. There's Smith stepping in. Cartier takes it off her chest and then has enough to get it out of play. Kate had to decide whether to get ahead on it straight away, but thought she could maybe control it. What a touch by Gelhaus. Technical ability on both sides, very apparent. Touch from Cartier in the box, and then the flick by Gelhaus on the other side. Too heavy that time from Tupper. And SFU will sink back into its goal box. Falcons trying to find a way in. Kruger trying to win a corner, cannot do so. Falcons working it around the back. Looking forward is Ahuna. Now she'll square to McCann. A couple of changes in the match now. Kira Scott in for Simon Fraser. And for the Falcons, Moira McKay and Kayla Wallace on the pitch. First changes of the night. And Andy Buckley now will check in for SPU. Another change for the Falcons ahead of this throw-in the corner. Marissa Banky gets it into Kruger. Now in the far corner, looking for room for a cross. And an important step there by Smith. A couple of Falcon players moving towards the 6-yard box. A little bit more promising from SPU here the last couple of minutes. Now a touch into the box, and Lowen had to come get it. It was McKay fresh onto the pitch who nearly saw her chance there. But Sarah Lowen all over it. Two-time GNAC Defensive Player of the Week, Sarah Lowen, this year. Instrumental as the last line of defense. Now Cartier goes the other way. Into the box, the cross. Mussolini on frame and handled by Cullen. One-time try for Isabella Mussolini. Never know on a night like this. Give the goalkeeper a tricky little fizzer on the floor. Now Mussolini finds it on her foot, and the cross was just a little off time with Tupper. I think Tupper was a little surprised the Falcons gave it away there and wasn't quite ready for the pass from Mussolini. Racing into the corner and being dispossessed by Merlin. Kruger will try a shot. Saw Lowen a little bit off her line. Falcons are saying a deflection. The referee agrees. I think Kruger looked up, saw that Lowen not only was outside the 6, but momentum moving forward, and figured she'd have a go, and results in a corner for SPU. Chance for a break. Mussolini with the speed. She's got support on the far side. There's Merlin. On to her left. Trying to slot it through to Tupper. There's the danger with Simon Fraser. Pace moving forward. Couldn't quite get the final connection, though, in the box. You could see it there with Mussolini, what Carlo Basso means when he says she just doesn't stop. Her engine's fantastic all over the pitch. The ability to find the spaces that are available. That time it was out wide to Noemi Merlin. And Mussolini earning the respect of the GNAC coaches, first team this season. Banky trying to settle things. Instead, it's given away. There's Kira Scott. Inching towards halftime here at Tomlinson Stadium. 1-0. Simon Fraser opening 5 minutes of play. The goal by Michaela Tupper. 4th of the season. And it's got her team in front through the first 30 minutes of this one. Kruger trying to take Richardson one-on-one. And Kate holding her ground, but the cross into the box by Kruger. A lot of confidence there in Taylor Kruger. You could see trying to touch it around her defender and then beat her to the ball. Nearly did so. Now Snedeker. Cartier, fantastic turn to win possession. SFU gets its shape. We'll restart here. And a throw in for the women in red. A couple more reinforcements coming as we approach 10 minutes to go here in the first half. One change for the Falcons as Gelhaus will get a breather. And for Simon Fraser, Reagan McKenzie and Chelsea Crock into the match for the first time tonight. For Seattle Pacific, it's Ashlyn Valdivinos into the match for the final 10 minutes of the first half. A chance here. It's Scott. Tight angle. Onto her right foot, trying to slot out the pass, and it's in! Kate Cartier from the top of the box, and it's 2-0. Simon strikes again. Cartier amid two defenders with the left foot. And Seattle Pacific stunned at the moment. It's a nice job by Scott to pick out Cartier top of the box, and Cullen had a lot of white jerseys that she was trying to see around. I don't think saw it all the way. Caught her by surprise a bit. the team-leading 6th goal of the year for Kate Cartier. And the first half of this GNAC Championship semifinal has been all Simon Fraser. 2-0. So now the Falcons, how will they respond? Being down 2-0. A dream of a start for SFU. So just as Western Oregon had to play from behind in the first half of our first semifinal, Seattle Pacific will have to do so. In this case, though, it's the underdog, SFU, with the lead. The 4th seed trying to pull the upset. It's never happened before at the GNAC Championships. 4th seed has never beat the number 1. Clark dropping back to win a throw-in for her side. Now with the turn is Reagan McKenzie. Tried to turn. Instead, she'll play it to the back. Lowen says she's got it. Calmly fends off the striding Moira McKay. Just a reaching touch by Cartier, enough to win possession for SFU. Now a chance. Simon with numbers up. Instead, Merlin will turn it back. Now a chance for the Falcons. So if you're SPU, you're going to have to think about shifting offensively at the halftime break. Now another chance for Scott. Last time she was in this position, Red Leaf scored. Cuts it back on the right foot. She'll shoot. Diving hold from Cullen. And she needed to because Reagan McKenzie was waiting in the wings. Any bobble there. And McKenzie's got a sure look at making this 3-0. Well in by Cullen that time. But SPU at the moment totally on the back foot. And a near giveaway in the box. Here's another chance. It's Merlin. And it's in. 3-0. A shade before halftime. And an unbelievable night in Ellensburg. Just getting started for SFU. Merlin takes her defender, one-on-one, gets into an unstoppable position in the box and fires it home. I don't think anyone saw this coming. A 3-0 scoreline for SFU. 40 minutes in. Just a little bit of a giveaway there. Cullen was under pressure, couldn't quite get it wide. Now hold on, here's a chance. A break in the box, one-on-one. Lowen, the kick save. And another unbelievable from Sarah Lowen. Somehow she keeps the Falcons out of the net. A double kick save. And fantastic work on the back line. Valdovinos found herself right in front of goal. Somehow saved by Lowen. She gets back up and does it again. Remarkable effort from the sophomore. First goal of the year for Noemi Merlin. And it's 3 unique goal scorers tonight for SFU. Topper, Cartier, and Merlin. No match is over at halftime, but SPU is going to have to dig deep and find some real magic. The final 45 minutes really feel like that opportunity they just had in front of them had to find the net to get them back into it, but it was Sarah Lowen, not with her gloves, but with her legs twice. Now maybe another chance. Lowen off her line and has to make a diving save. It was on frame from Valdovinos again. But Lowen with the denial. Another corner kick for SPU. They've had chances late. A goal before halftime would do wonders for their mindset. SFU trying to clear it. They can, and that finds the back of the net. And the Falcons are on the board. Red Leafs could not clear it. And Mahaffey tucking it away on the carom. Mia Mahaffey into the match. So the Falcons have life. And buckle your seatbelt. 4 goals in the first half now. Mia Mahaffey's first goal of the year, able to tuck it just inside the far post. Well, the Red Leafs playing with fire a bit, giving away the one-on-one with 5 minutes to go. Now a chance for McKenzie straight away off the kickoff. She's whistled for the foul. But the one-on-one when Lowen makes a double save, and then the long shot attempt requiring the diving save. And if you're SPU, you're thinking that the goal is deserved after 3 genuine chances, finally getting one to find the net. Ione pushing forward. Can the Falcons double down before halftime? Valdovinos had it knocked away by Kate Richardson. Banky working on the outside against her defender there. Here comes Mussolini. Been a quiet 10 minutes for her. Well, the other thing Simon has going for it is Cartier looking forward. Slotted towards the corner. That carries out of play. Michaela Tupper has had the chance to rest. Been nursing injury later in the season. Got her goal early and has had the chance to rest for the better part of the last 20 minutes. So the hope is she'd be fresh for a second half in which all of a sudden the 2-goal lead, the last 5 minutes has looked a little less sturdy than maybe it seems. Falcons finally creating some chances. Inside of a minute to go here before the halftime whistle. Big step from Richardson. And the Falcons make one more push forward. There's Nyon over the top, and an important header from Smith that time. Clark has it knocked away from her. A last-second shot, but doesn't reach low and before the buzzer. Thrill of a first half. It's 3-1 in favor of Simon Fraser. We'll step aside for a few minutes, bring you a few numbers, and have the second half coming up. Just about 4 minutes away from second half action kicking off. What a half it was for Simon Fraser. 3 goals and a 3-1 lead. But Seattle Pacific looking very dangerous the final 5 minutes, and sure enough, they find the back of the net. This one far from over. Gotta believe Carlo Basso and his side frustrated with how they finished the half. And when you build a 3-0 advantage, easy to get a little complacent, and that may be just what happened down the stretch. Seattle Pacific generating its most dangerous chances of the half in the final 5 minutes and putting one in the back of the net. So, advantage SFU, the 2-goal lead, but a lot to be sorted out here in this one. 9-6 advantage in shots for Simon Fraser. All 4 corner kicks, however, belonged to Seattle Pacific, the last of which resulted in the goal. 7 of Simon's 9 tries landing on target. 4 saves for Mercedes Cullen in net for SPU, 3 for Sarah Lowen in net for Simon Fraser. Again, the goal scorers Michaela Tupper, Kate Cartier for Simon Fraser, and Noemi Merlin with her first goal of the year. And for Seattle Pacific, Andy Buckley in the 43rd minute, getting her side on the scoreboard. Hopes of reaching a GNAC championship title match. Simon Fraser has never done that. Seattle Pacific, meanwhile, has reached 6 finals and won 3 of them. Every final that Seattle Pacific has played in has been against Western Washington, the 2 perennial powers. So Simon here in the GNAC championships for the 3rd year in a row. 5th time overall. They've always been the 4 seed. Is this the moment? Is this the year that they make the breakthrough, become the first ever GNAC team to pull off the 4-1 upset at the conference championship tournament? And for SPU, a lot at stake here, both for this week and for next. The Falcons, number 1 in the NCAA West Region rankings as of this week. And that could be in jeopardy with a loss to a team not in the rankings. Simon Fraser not in the top 8. And what does that mean for SPU's NCAA hopes? Well, I don't know that a loss tonight knocks them from 1 out of the rankings. I don't think they're in jeopardy of losing their NCAA berth. But the 1 seed, of course, earning hosting rights. So that could be in jeopardy if SPU can't find a way to earn a result here tonight. For Simon Fraser, meanwhile, the only real path into the NCAA postseason is to win this tournament. The GNAC receives 1 automatic berth into the NCAA regional championships. That automatic berth goes to this tournament champion, not the regular season champion, which was SPU, but whoever wins this tournament, they get a berth into the regional. So for Simon Fraser, it's must win tonight and then must win Saturday if they are to advance to their first ever NCAA regional. Western Washington, meanwhile, should safely be in the regional tournament once again. Entered the week 4th in the regional rankings, winning earlier today, and can get there either by virtue of the auto berth if they were to win on Saturday, or even in a losing effort Saturday. I think Western Washington would have a good chance to maintain its spot in the regional rankings. The NCAA selection show is Monday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. The 8-team field for the West Region Championships will be revealed. So the stage is set. Half 2. SPU, SFU, Falcons need to get going. And the GNAC goal-scoring leader, Jacqueline Blakely, sends us off. She's got 7 to her name, and boy, could SPU use a couple more tonight. See how the Red Leafs respond to what I'm guessing was a bit of a stern talking to, at least regarding the final 5 minutes of play. I think overall, if you're Carlo Basso, you have to be very happy with how your team played. You've got the 3-1 lead, but that's something you really lean on as a coach. First 5 minutes, last 5 minutes of each half, and last 5 minutes of the first half were all Seattle Pacific. We'll see how the Red Leafs respond to that. See if they can maintain their confidence here after such an excellent start. Tupper back in to start this second half. She got her rest for the better part of the first half after the 3rd-minute goal to get things started. Snedeker looking to go over the top, and Lowen is there. Snedeker trying to pick out Gelhaus. Lowen was ready to either come out of her box or let it come to her, which is ultimately how it fell. Right back to Seattle Pacific. Nyone with Falcons streaking towards the goal box. Cross is away from the near post, out of play. I asked R.B. Busey what his expectations were, what he expected to see tonight. He thought it'll be a little bit of a cagey affair initially, he said. These teams are familiar with each other. They just played Saturday. Here's a chance for Simon. Top of the box. Diving stop by Cohen. Threat not gone, though. As SFU looking dangerous here. Across the 6. Not able to find feet. Searching for Caravata there that time. But the Falcons able to handle the threat. Kira Scott, I should say, still in there for SFU to start the second half. Came off the bench in the first. Ooh, an important step there from Smith. That was inches away from finding Blakely on a breakaway. Cartier. Head up, looking forward. Couldn't pick out Tupper. Now Forster gets position. Tripped up from behind, but the referee says play on. Blakely tries the long shot over the crossbar, but not by much. Oh. That's how dangerous Jacqueline Blakely can be. That one coming well over 30 yards away. Lowen looked to have it covered, but if it's on frame, it requires a leaping tip over the bar if she can get to it. Just high that time from Blakely. Hands to the face, knowing that was a tough chance, but oh so close to rattling off the crossbar, finding the net beneath it. Space for Gelhaus. Just a little bit too much for Nyone. Curling just a little too far in front of her, streaking into the corner. SFU combining out of the back, but losing possession. Here's Blakely again, turning towards the middle. Energy from both these teams here in the opening 6 minutes of the half. A couple of early chances for each side. Cullen with a diving save, saw her out early before the start of the second half, getting some extra touches in, trying to get that confidence. Free kick to SFU here. Falcons getting their shape, working forward from the back. Long way to go, but plenty of time left for SPU. There's Smith with the header. Falcons looking for an entry. That shot handled easily by Lowen. Well, we saw mature and experienced Western Washington side see out a 2-1 lead the entirety of the second half. They were not rattled by a late first half goal by Western Oregon that gave the Wolves some momentum going into halftime. We'll see if Simon Fraser can show similar traits after conceding late in the first half, needing to protect this 2-goal lead. Speed down the left side. Mussolini towards the middle. Tupper too heavy with the touch that time. Now the Falcons look to push the other way. Snedeker. And too strong into the box that time from Maya Parman. Here's Merlin, the third goal scorer of the match for SFU. Smith will clear it upfield. Falcons able to regain possession in the defensive third. Snedeker playing back to Ahuna. Now Snedeker switching the field. Picking out Lauren Forrester. One time left foot towards the 6-yard box, and there's Lowen. Blakely was at the top of the box, and Gelhaus was towards the back post, but Sarah Lowen the first there. Now a chance for SFU. Long shot coming. Leaping up was Cullen. Had it covered and carrying just over the crossbar. Sarah Caravata with a lengthy look. Taking a page out of Jacqueline Blakely's book. Giving it a go from distance. Cartier first to it. And then sliding in to win at Skellhouse. Here come the Falcons. Nyon racing to the corner. Dispossessed by Richardson. Now it's won back by SPU. Here's the cross. Over the head of Smith. It's loose at the 6-yard box, but knocked down and then deflected out of play. Dangerous for the Red Leafs. First clearance chance was missed, and then the goalkeeper found herself on the floor, and the Falcons couldn't get a clean look, but SFU dodges a bullet. One more chance like that goes the Falcons' way and ends up in the net, and they're fully back in this one. Mahaffey racing that one down. The Falcons will restart. That's Mackenzie Aiken wearing the 25 jersey for SPU into the match, playing center back. Aiken with the ball in her foot now. Now trying to slot through Gelhaus. Tries a difficult bounding shot. That one didn't fall kindly to her right foot. Caden Sherwood back onto the pitch for SFU, coming to the near side of the screen. Sherwood with an assist already tonight on the stat sheet. Good touch from Merlin there. Glued to her right foot, and SFU wins the throw-in. Change for the Falcons here. Nyon will give way to Taylor Kruger, who is a player that has the ability to spark her team here. An hour into this second semifinal, and SFU still in front. Now a chance for the Falcons, but again, that final pass eluding them. Numbers were forward, the break was on, but couldn't quite connect that time. Oh, now Berlin loses it. Forster has options. The runner through was Kruger, trying to get behind Smith. Kate Smith, that is. There's two of them back there. The sisters, Emily wearing the 3 jersey and Kate wearing the number 5. It was Kate that time with The dangerous Kruger racing around behind her. Aiken and Ahuna inching forward. Now Cartier with Gelhaus and Snedeker all over her somehow keeps it on her foot. Finesse from Kate Cartier. Well, could this be the championship moment for SFU? They've never won a playoff game on the women's side since joining the GNAC in 2010, becoming an NCAA member. On the men's side, different story. Carlo Basso, his junior and senior years at SFU, leading that team to back-to-back Final Fours. I asked him or how he draws upon those experiences and tries to instill his experience as a player reaching the top level to his team now as the Falcons race forward. Still moving was Kruger, finally cleared away. And Basso said you really just take from all your experiences individually, good or bad, and pointed out, at the end of the day, they didn't win a national championship. They did reach the Final Four, but those teams he played on, that was their goal, was to win it all. So it was a tremendous success for SFU, but there's always two sides to it, and some of those players will look at it and think, they fell 2 matches short of their ultimate goal while recognizing the success they had. And I think in that, Basso said there's lessons for him as a coach a decade later now, trying to instill that in the players, saying the key piece to it all is recognizing it takes a lot of hard work and suffering in order to realize your success. You have to embrace the tough days and the moments where you don't feel like it's your day. Those are the days that you get better and improve. That's what he says he tries to preach to his players through the success he enjoyed as a player and on a team. And thus far this season, he's off to a great start in his first campaign in charge of the program. Three reinforcements for SFU here. Moira McKay checking in. Kayla Wallace entering the match as well for the Falcons, as is Ashlyn Valdivinos, who had a couple of dangerous opportunities at the close of the first half. Goal kick is the decision. Here's Wallace, who loses possession on the near side. Sherwood looking for a connection, instead just plays it to the SPU backline. Ahuna. Falcons can't keep it in play on the far side of the pitch. SPU will look for answers going the other direction now, working it back around. Trying to stay patient. Still plenty of time. And enough talent on this SPU roster to turn one crack in the armor into a breakaway. Just a little bit too much again. The rain has really subsided. Not that it was ever an issue tonight, but right around the 10-minute mark to play in our first semifinal tonight, it's got a little bit of a steady rainfall since it's held up. Bit of a chilly evening, but nothing to trouble the players too much. Some of them wearing gloves. Once you get the legs moving, nothing that should bother these players. Sherwood dispossessed, and then Cartier wins it back. Now Caden Sherwood moving forward. Looking outside. Here's Tupper. One-on-one. To the inside on the right foot. Strong shot, but it's just wide. Cullen had it covered always. Now coming the other way. Lowen racing back to her 6-yard box, and the Red Leafs trying to recover. It's Wallace. Smith. Deep throw in for Seattle Pacific here. Cartier steps in front. Can SFU prevent the corner? They do. Well done by Merlin there to play it out the side. And Smith allows her back line to step forward. SPU trying to solve the puzzle here in the second half. Trying to create. It's through again, but Smith shielding it and winning it eventually. Another throw in to Simon Fraser. Trying to get it to Mussolini. She's had somewhat of a quiet 25 minutes here in the second half, but here she comes with some space. Into the box. Sherwood. Touch too heavy. And a fourth goal, you would think, for Simon Shirley would put it out of reach. But at 3-1, Falcons certainly not out of things. Gotta find ways to press forward if you're SPU, but still numerous dangerous players in the red shirts that you can't lose track of. Comes Mahaffey looking for help in the middle. Instead, it's given away to Clark. Clark. Lovely ball to Mussolini. On her right foot. Sherwood towards the back post. Tupper wanted it. She was a bit out of the run. I don't know that Sherwood saw her. It would have taken a curling cross backwards to get to Tupper, but if she had picked that out, Tupper would have been clear on with Cullen. SFU keeping its shape well, and not only that, but keeping a little bit of pressure on offensively. As we move under 20 minutes to go here in this one. Good tackle there from Clark. Caravada looking for Cartier, who just gets there in time. Now Merlin. One-touch play from SFU to Sherwood. Shakes her defender. In front of goal. Knocked away, but there's Tupper on a brace. And it's 4 for the Red Leafs. And now the likelihood of a first ever championship match is through the roof. 4-1, SFU leads it. Tupper again, great combination play. And I think SPU will be asking about maybe a foul that could have been called, but instead, Tupper, right place, right time. Left foot into an open net. Only question on that was a little bit of contact inside the box. Not by the goal scorer, but on the pass before from Sherwood. Sort of tugged at her defender. Did that prevent SPU from a fair chance to stop that play? But the whistle stayed in the pocket of the referee, and it's 4-1 Simon Fraser. Now a free kick for the Falcons. Desperation time for SPU. Snedeker. On the ball. Takes it herself and low and holds. So for SPU, this, in all likelihood, will certainly not mark the end of the season, even if the scoreline holds, but may very well end the Falcons' hopes at hosting a regional championship. They'll be in it, but their grip on the number 1 overall seed in the region may be slipping away with tonight's result. No Sophie Beadle tonight. 2023 GNAC Player of the Year for the Falcons. Not in the lineup. You wonder what kind of impact that had on the result. Simon on the break again. Here comes Sherwood streaking. And off the crossbar. Cullen able to keep it out. Big save. Just enough for number 0 to tip that one off the crossbar. Could have been a 5th. Simon Fraser playing with confidence here. Now the flag stays down, and the Falcons are on the break. But the shot too high. And that's just how the night has gone for SPU. Try that time was from Moira McKay. Couldn't keep it on frame. Second time this year, Simon Fraser has scored 4 goals in a match. The other October 7th in a 4-0 blanking of Central Washington. That came in Burnaby. And SFU looking to make it 6 results in its last 7 matches. The only loss in that time, a 3-1 defeat against Western Oregon on October 28th. There's Wallace for SPU. Space outside. Maybe a chance for the Falcons. Too much space if you're SFU for Kruger. Got on her left foot. Trying to pick out the back post. But just carries too long. "13 minutes and change to go. 13 minutes between Simon Fraser and a championship match berth. Chloe Gelhaus back on the pitch for SPU. Sherwood dispossessing Wallace, but only momentarily. From the start tonight, SPU was put on the back foot. Michaela Tupper's goal in the 3rd minute set the tone, and Simon has never looked back. The question coming out of halftime was, how would they handle the collapse in the last 5 minutes that led to SPU's goal, and quite easily could have led to a couple of goals. SPU with some fantastic chances the final 5 minutes. Well, the resounding answer to that question is SFU keeping its composure, responding immaculately, restoring the 3-goal lead, and far and away playing as the better side here tonight. Cartier had the brilliant second goal, a one-time chance with the left foot from the top of the box. Falcons trying to find something here. Here's Wallace. And she's tripped up in a dangerous position. Gelhaus wants to get on the ball quickly. Simon Fraser getting in front of it now. Chloe Gelhaus will set up for a strike at this one. "25 yards out. 4 red leafs in the wall in front of Sarah Lowen. Symbolic of the evening, really, for SPU. Just a little bit dull tonight for the Falcons. Second time these teams have met in the GNAC championships. In 2021, Seattle Pacific collected a 2-1 result in the semifinals to knock off Simon Fraser and reach the championship match. Simon Fraser now on its way to reversing that script. All the center backs have been good tonight for SFU, the Smith sisters. Playing in tandem. Gelhaus. Back post, but the offside flag is up. It won't count. Kruger. Missed time to run. So Western Washington looks on. And prepares to face Simon Fraser for a third time. The Vikings won both regular season matches between the teams, separated by just about a 40-minute drive across the Canadian border. It's a 2-0 result for Western Washington on September 21st in Bellingham, and then a 2-1 result for the Vikings October 14th up on Burnaby Hill. Mighty task for both teams, as barring a miracle from SPU here in the last 7 minutes, it'll be the third meeting of the year between Western Washington and Simon Fraser on Saturday. 1 o'clock kickoff here at Tomlinson Stadium for the championship match. Mussolini dragged down. Oh no, the referee allowing play to continue. Long strike. Lowen elevates. Cat Ione has been one of the bright spots tonight for SPU. Haven't been a ton, but has done her work defensively, and they're putting one on frame. Merlin getting a little fancy with it. Smith preferring to clear her line. Mahaffey wins the free kick for the Falcons. Lowen punches, taken out by her own player. Ball stays alive, and Cartier ends up clearing it. Lowen, an acrobatic tumble. No foul. It was her own woman who took her down. Now handles the long strike from Snedeker with ease. But just for a moment, the net was empty for SPU. Too many players in the box, though. Oh, they're close now, aren't they, Simon? 5.5 minutes away. They can feel it. Merlin on a goal tonight. Her first of the year. How good has she been for this side? Cartier, her team leading 6th of the year. Those two have been stellar all year long. Head to GNACsports.com. You can catch all the GNAC women's soccer news, read the recaps from tonight. You can catch exclusive interviews with our coaches and players after these matches. And get yourself previewed for Saturday's final. Here's Lauren Forster. Across the middle, but Smith is there. Forster, take on a shot. Lowen's in for the save. 8th of the night for Sarah Lowen. None bigger than the double kick save just before halftime. Still not sure how she managed it. Been a quiet night for Jacqueline Blakely. Her only strike came from distance and carried just over the crossbar. Had one other early on, but was called back for offside. But Simon Fraser doing a nice job of containing the dangerous number 14 GNAC leader in goals this year. It's been kept quiet. Here's Kruger. Wide to Forster. One-on-one with Merlin. Beats her. But her near post try into the outside of the netting. Inside of 3 minutes to go. Simon from the start. And the Burnaby faithful starting to make some noise here at Tomlinson Stadium. Passports in hand. They have come to see their team get to the GNAC championship match. Another step by Cartier. Caravata. Bad giveaway that time. But it's too late to matter now. No time left for SPU. And it's in. Jacqueline Blakely finds the net. GNAC leading 8th goal of the year, but it's surely too little too late. It's a good touch and a good finish, composed at the near post. Lowen's got no chance. Clinical finish, really, from Blakely. But only a minute 50 left on the clock. Here's Nyone. Blakely tries the long shot into the hands of Lowen. Chances have been there for SPU, but tricky to come out on top, conceding 4 times. Forster tied up with Merlin. Falcons win perhaps their final throw-in. Mussolini dragged down. and Simon Fraser. What a result. Michaela Tupper twice, and one each from Noemi Merlin and Kate Cartier. Blakely again. Smashes it high, and that will run the clock out. Simon Fraser, 4-2 victorious. It's an upset of champion Seattle Pacific, and for the first time in GNAC Championships history, the number 4 seed is going to the title match. Simon Fraser from the 3rd minute forward. And never a doubt tonight, was there? We thank you for tuning in, and we'll be with you on Saturday, 1 p.m. The Red Leafs and Vikings kick it off for the GNAC Championships title.